is also known as commemoration of all faithfully departed who have not yet been purified and reached heaven. In other words, when they died, they had not yet attained full sanctification and moral perfection, requirement for entrance into heaven. This sanctification is carried out posthumously in purgatory. So the Christian belief is that there are three places that you can be: on earth, Christian church militant; in heaven, church triumphant; or in purgatory, church suffering. This was simply their belief system that allowed people to gauge where it was in their awareness. We know now, of course, that in the church systems there was an element of fear that was placed in people, that there was some negative consequence if they didn't reach enlightenment. But we know now, in our current state, that everybody reaches enlightenment at some point in time. And there is no expiration date on your time for enlightenment and awareness. There is no hurry that you have to do this in a certain amount of time. Everybody is on their own journey, in their own place, in their own way, having all of their experiences. And it takes as many experiences as it takes. Mine, yours, and our enlightenment simply takes as long as it takes. And we know, of course, time isn't truly linear in divine energy. And if we need to have several lifetimes in order to have as many experiences as we need, there's no race, there's no prize for getting first in line for enlightenment. There's no first place or last place awards. We all have our perfect timing. And as we look around and we tend to egoically compare, anytime we compare, this is an aspect of the ego. That we look at ourselves and we cast judgment on somebody that we deemed to be less in this moment as aware or enlightened as we are. Take into account that there is somebody who is perhaps more enlightened than us that we don't see on our radar screen. And will we want them to judge us because we haven't yet become aware of the things that they have? So we espouse to live, we aspire to live in a place of non-judgment. I'm on my journey. I've made my awareness. I've reconciled and gotten closure on things in my lifetime, as have you, as have all of us. And our timing is perfect. Everything about who we are and what we are is perfect. So when I recognize All Saints' Day, I see them as people who have devoted their life, who have demonstrated a level of selflessness in their cause. And it doesn't matter whether we believe in their cause or not. The Catholic Church is the one that creates the saints based on their analysis of that person's lifetime. And so these are not people that are so much above us, but they are our role models. They are people who believe in something and have spent their life dedicating their time and energy to something that they wish to create and believe in. I was curious what makes a saint. There are 5 steps. When someone crosses over, there's usually a local way of people deciding this person should be canonized. And so a local bishop investigates the candidate's life and the writings for evidence of heroic virtue. The information uncovered by the bishop is sent to the Vatican. A panel of theologians and the cardinals of the Congregation for Cause of Saints evaluate the candidate's life. If the panel approves, the Pope proclaims that the candidate is venerable, which means that the person is a role model of virtues. The next step towards sainthood is beatification, which allows a person to be honored by a particular group or region. In order to be beatified, there must be at least one sighting, where something posthumously, some miracle, where somebody prayed to that person and some miracle happened, and then that person can be beautified. When a second event is noted that a miracle has occurred by praying to that person deceased, two posthumous miracles, and then proclaims them as a saint. In honor of today, when I was looking at the calendar, I was going to talk about All Saints' Day. I was given an image of Mother Teresa. And we all know who Mother Teresa is. Lovely, lovely woman who strangely died 5 days after Princess Diana. And her death was the day before Memorial. Princess Diana died August 31st of 1997. Mother Teresa died August 5th of 1997, and Diana's worldwide mourning and funeral was August 6th. And I found it ironic that her death was overshadowed by everything, with the world proclaiming a day of mourning for Princess Diana. But then that's who she was. She was not a woman. Her entire life, who wanted attention, who wanted to be proclaimed something special. And so I can't help but see an irony there, or at least order in chaos, that she would pass on a day before where there was so much news, and what happened to her was really third-page news. Had it not been for that, it would have been all over the papers. So I think she chose that day, knowing how understated her passing would have been. And that was who she was in life. She was born Agnes Bojaju, commonly known as Mother Teresa of Calcutta, on 26th of August of 1910, and she died 87 years later. She was an Albanian-born Indian Roman Catholic. She was quoted as saying, "By blood I am Albanian, by citizenship an Indian, and in faith I am a Catholic nun. As to my calling, I belong to the world. As to my heart, I belong entirely to the heart of Jesus." She founded the Missionaries of Charity, a Roman Catholic religious congregation which in 2012 consisted of 4,500 sisters and is active in 133 countries. Members under her order adhere to the vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. But the fourth vow, and perhaps the most important, wholehearted and free service to the poorest of the poor. The Missionaries of Charity, at the time of her death, had 610 missions in 123 countries, including hospices, homes for people with HIV and AIDS, leprosy, tuberculosis, soup kitchens, children's and family counseling, and programs for orphanages and schools. For 45 years, she ministered to the poor, the sick, the orphaned, and the dying, while guiding the Missionaries of Charity's expansion, first throughout India and then to other countries. 3 years after her death, on the anniversary of her birthday, on August 26th of 2000, in celebration of her, marking her death, the Hindu, the Sikh, and the Muslim admirers joined in common prayers for her speedy canonization. In 2001, the feast of the Assumption of Mary, the officials closed the diocese and inquired into Mother Teresa's sanctity. The year-long gathering of testimony for those who knew Mother Teresa was the first step in the long process of canonization. Normally, they wait 5 years to start gathering the information for somebody's sainthood when they die. Hers started a year after. She's the first in-saint process. The Pope granted special dispensation that her gathering could start a year after her death because of the work that she did worldwide and how she was recognized. On October 20th of 2003, Mother Teresa was beatified, which means they found the first validity of a posthumous miracle on her part. She's now known as Blessed Mother Mary of Teresa of Calcutta. Her process of beatification is the shortest in history, and the normal 5-year waiting period was waived in her honor. Since her death, people have sought her help and experienced her love. The prayers and the pilgrims of everybody worldwide. She received the 1979 Nobel Peace Prize, and she refused the conventional luncheon that they put for the laureates. And she asked that the $192,000 budget that they normally spend on the laureate luncheon be donated to the poor in India. During her lifetime, the list of rewards I cut out of my document here because it would have taken 10 minutes to list the rewards that she was given throughout her lifetime. Mother Teresa stated that the earthly rewards were only important to her if they helped the world's needy. If those awards and rewards gave knowledge and appreciation and helped people understand the work that she was doing, that was the only reason she found them important. When she received the Nobel Peace Prize, she was asked, "What can we do to promote world peace?" She answered, "Go home and love your family." In her Nobel lecture, she said, "Around the world, not only in the poor countries, but I found the poverty in the West so much more difficult to remove. When I pick up a person from the street in India, hungry, I give him a plate of rice, a piece of bread, and I have satisfied. I've removed the hunger." But in the West, what she saw, that a person is shut out and feels unwanted, unloved, terrified. That person has been thrown out from society. That poverty is too painful to bear. And she finds that and I find that very difficult. We're going to call in Mother Teresa to speak to us, but first I'm going to share some of her more famous quotes. "I am not sure exactly what heaven will be like, but I don't know that when we die, and it comes time for God to judge us, He will not ask, 'How many good things have you done in your life?' Rather, He will ask, 'How much love did you put into what you did?'" She also said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cause a stone across the waters to create many ripples." The greatest science in the world, in heaven and on earth, is love. The biggest disease today is not leprosy or tuberculosis, but rather the feeling of being unwanted. There is more hunger in the world for love and appreciation in the world than there is for bread. When you look at the inner workings of electrical things, you see wires. Until the current passes through them, there will be no light. That wire is you and me. The current is God. We have the power to let the current pass through us, use us to produce the light of the world in us, or we can refuse to be used and allow darkness to spread. It is not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. And I have heard this quote before, and I didn't know it was from her. I've seen it all over the internet. People are unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Love them anyway. Her entire being, everything she stood for, all of her work was around loving those in need, giving love to those that felt alone or tired or scared or hungry. She is probably the most modern advocate we have of selflessness and the ideal and the role model that she set of us taking care of each other and not looking out for ourselves, but understanding that we are only one when we take care of each other, when we help each other, when we take the time to give something to somebody else. I don't think it's possible to count in the 45 years the number of people that she and her 4,500 sisters and 123 missionary centers helped. It has to be well over millions. And not only the people that she directly helped, but the ripple effect that she created. The help that they were able to give to somebody else by what they received from her, and the goodness in their hearts that they felt to be given that kind of love and charity and time. The people, each of the one that she affected went out and then affected to other people. This woman has probably reached a third of the world. And so we honor her. And even though, according to the Catholic Church, she isn't quite a saint yet, according to their tribunal and the way they do things, I think it's safe to say we have a saint in Mother Teresa of Calcutta. So I'd like to bring her energy in so that she can touch all of your hearts and be with you here today. And I've already been feeling, as I've been connecting with her since yesterday, she was so shy at first when I connected with her and said, would you like to be with me as I talk about you? And her energy kind of went like this, and she was sort of shy and she pulled away. And her guides came around her and said they were going to offer to help because she's not somebody that speaks publicly. And so her guides are going to help her speak to us today because she is terribly shy. But her message is about helping each other, being in a place of sisterhood and brotherhood worldwide. So could you hum a little bit for me? Seth is going to tone. Just relax and breathe. You can keep your eyes open if you want to. You can close them. As we tap into the energy of Mother Teresa, we invite you here to be with us. Mother Teresa, asking you to join us. Any message or feelings of love that you would like to say to anyone here? Open your hearts to all those around you. Never be afraid to give a part of yourself to someone who looks different, feels different, comes from a different country or religion. See past the color of their skin, the language they speak, their social position. See past everything. And know the hunger of their body is truly the hunger of their soul. There are so many of the children of the world that have lost their way, that have become disconnected from the divine spirit, from the energy and love of their God. We don't know why they lose their way. We only know we're here to help them find their way back. Show them the path, giving them love, giving them your time, sharing your bread with them, sharing your clothing, your home. There is no end to the work that can be done, and no end to the need that can be done. Only when we look at ourselves and see all of those around us as the same as us, no better, no worse, no richer, no poorer, no greater, no less than great. Only when we look around and see those that are in our hearts as the same, and know that abundance truly comes the more we share, the more we receive, touching the hearts of those around us, giving a piece of ourselves to them, creating a ripple effect among humankind, setting this intention to reach the world. Think not that any small act you do is insignificant. Every act of love has a greater impact beyond that which you could imagine. Share yourself. Share that which you have. It is the act of sharing love, and that will come back to you 100 times over. Know that you are blessed, that you are taken care of, that you are safe, that you are loved. Knowing this in your heart allows you to share this with others. Only when you believe this can you truly transmit this to another's heart. Know you are loved. Know you are taken care of. Know you are divine. And take this message out and share it to all who would come in your path. In every day, in every way. Share your bread. Share your heart. It is the only way to true enlightenment and awareness. Having a feeling of abundance so great that the more you share, you know you can never be without. This is my message. Each of the energies that we invite here each week. Do you find it interesting? They all come in with these beautiful messages of love, and yet their signature is so individual and so unique. her energy was kind of stroppy. She had kind of a hands on her hip energy of this true motherhood energy in the most loving way. She was really being very firm about her convictions. Did any of you sense that? No? She felt to me, yes.
I got the message that God loves you more than you can imagine.
She knew who she was, and she knew what she believed in. And she was resolute, and she had the courage of her convictions. I heard a story once that she went to some sort of grocery place, sort of food outlet, and she bought all this food for the orphanage. And then she stood there and waited and said, somebody is going to pay for this. And she stood there with her hands on her hips and she said, I'm not leaving until somebody pays for this food for the orphans. I mean, that's stroppy. She was devout in her mission in life to feed the poor. And she knew that when you fed their bellies, you fed their souls. That you gave them love and you gave them hope. I can't imagine how many people that she reached in her lifetime. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share?
Did she write any books?
Yeah.
Did she write any books during her lifetime?
Did she write any books? I don't think she did, no. I think there were a lot of biographical accounts of her, but I don't believe there was any autobiographies or anything that she wrote. I think she was too busy doing her work, but I'll look into that. But I don't believe, not in the research that I found, did she have anything?
Biography.
Yeah, biographies, but nothing that she herself wrote. And quotes, I mean, just so many quotes. I think you could probably fill a book with her quotes.
Biography is wonderful.
Yeah. This is our lovely location. We've been here for just under 2 months now. We moved in September 8th from our smaller location over in Lake Forest. We had our monthly holistic healing fair here yesterday. Seth played music. We had 2 food trucks, a drumming circle, and all kinds of vendors and healers. The energy in here was just sky high. For those of you that here, was a lot of fun. No, it was really beautiful energy in here yesterday. The next holistic healing fair coming up is December 1st. And that will be the beginning of what we call our 12 Days of Light celebration, culminating on 12-12-12. It starts with our holistic healing fair on Saturday, Germ Day. That evening on the 1st, Seth and his band will be playing a concert of Pranam world music. We have something going on every day. There are field trips to the Hasai Temple that Susie Rose will be taking us on. There's a Mayan concert, sound healing events, intention settings, meditations. Larissa Stowe will be here on 12-12-12. At the end of that evening, we'll be raffling off a beautiful 23-carat emerald necklace that was anonymously donated by one of our members. On the 11th, the day before, Jesse and I will be doing an Ascended Master meditation, bringing in messages for everybody. On Friday evening, on the 7th, Deborah Shea and Isabella Stoloff will be doing an event. But go to the website, it's on our homepage, we have every event listed. And pick at least 3 or 4 and come and join the festivities. There'll also be a 12-21-12, a winter equinox celebration. But Deborah Shea will be doing that. This is what we've all been waiting for. And it's not that there's going to be a big event on 12-12-12. It's more like the energy has been accumulating and it will be peaking on that day. But the things have been shifting here for years, really, in preparation for us. They've been marked by 11-11-11, 10-10-10, and 9-9-9. All of these beautiful markings coming up into the new energy. We have an election on Tuesday. and we're going to see if either Mitt Romney or Obama will be the person in charge of our nation for the next 4 years. And really, although there are a lot of people out there that see Obama as the savior, does it really matter? We know the energies of all that is are guiding what's happening here. And those energies will come through whoever it is that is divinely guided to be the leader of those energies. And it's all good. And I'm not saying don't bother go out and vote. Please do go out and vote. Express your heart intent. Express your opinion. Express that which you wish to see. But trust that whatever happens, it is not only the people of the nation that are speaking, but of energies even beyond that which we are capable of understanding in this very moment, but yet at the same time in our hearts know to be true. We have lots of wonderful things coming up this coming weekend. I'm teaching a class called Consciousness Mastery. It's kind of a spirituality 101. We spend 2 days going through all the different modalities that there are so that you can have some grasp of the main vernacular of everything that is experienced. We have classes all over our website and concerts. We have a full scale of yoga classes. One of our yoga teachers is here today, Joel's in the back. He teaches on Thursday at 6:30. We have a full complement of yoga classes here each week. We have a full complement of sound healing and movement events. We have inspirational, intuitive development classes here. And we also have special events and things. We do this all to be of service to the community, to offer as many different ways and varieties for you to find peace and a path to your own spirituality. Spirituality is a personal journey for each and every one of us. And it is for you to explore and experience in your own individual way. It doesn't have to be one that you do alone, though. You can do it together here with friends and community. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for these gifts. We are, of course, a spiritual organization and a 501c3 nonprofit. So we do depend on the participation in our services and the donations that we receive and the attendance of the other events. All of the funds that come in simply are here to support us being present. We have an amazing team of staff that are devoted to everything that we do here. And each and every one of you showing up and being a part of this is a gift, and I thank you for being here. May these donations come back to you 100-fold. May the generosity that you express be something that walks with you in all days. We promise to use your donations with wisdom and integrity as always. We thank you for them. I ask you to go out and have a beautiful day. Take all the energy that you've received here, the messages from Spirit, the community, the opening of your heart, and take that out and spread it to everybody that you meet. And know, as Mother Teresa says, that every small act creates a ripple. Every smile that you give someone, every word of kindness, every act of generosity, everything that you do that is positive and kind affects everyone around you. Do not discount even the smallest act that you do. It has an enormous ripple effect on everyone around you. Take your heart space energy and share that with everyone today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming here together and creating conscious community. Our interfaith services, we call them the United Conscious Community Interfaith Gatherings. We appreciate your donations today. If you'd like to sign up and be a monthly donor, we appreciate that support. Anything that you can do to help us to continue to grow and reach out. We are Orange County's only interfaith spiritual community officially. Did you have a question? Thank you for being here. Enjoy your day. You all got to sleep in an extra hour today. Wasn't that delicious? Thank you. Please stay and socialize afterwards, and have a lovely, lovely rest of the day.
Okay, if I just make a quick...
Yeah.
I just